Okay, so let's talk about the law of supply. So before you begin anything, I really think it's very important for you to take a look at the reading that will be posted on Schoology that talks about the law of supply, like what is the law, breaking down the law, looking at these different, looking at the different graphs, and really explaining some practical uses of what it is, okay? So that's the first step before you even do this. So you can pause the video, go to the reading, read. You can annotate. It's completely up to you, but you can add to your notes that you started with opportunity, cost, and scarcity, and add to the supply box, okay? So you can pause the video right now, do the reading, and go back to that, okay? All right. So welcome back. Hopefully you pause it and did the reading. So we're going to fill this out together, and I'm going to go through a couple of these points and talk about what each point means, and have you do this part and this part with me, okay? So as price increases, and we're looking again at the idea of supply, and we're looking at the idea of quantity supplied, okay, quantity supplied. Not what's being sold, but what is being supplied, what is being produced, okay? So as the price increases, the quantity supplied increases, okay? As the price decreases, the quantity supplied decreases, okay? You say, well, that's pretty simple. It is, except the lingo is a little challenging, so we're going to go through that, meaning the language, okay? So you can see that as the price increases, the quantity supplied increases. We are not talking about what's being sold or talking about what's being produced. Okay, so make sure you understand that. This is what is being produced. This is what the producer is willing to produce at these prices. Okay, so think of it again. So the price, that is the price of the good being sold. Okay, the quantity, this is the amount the producer is willing to make at each price. Okay, this is not what they're selling. We're not talking about what's being sold. That's two different things. Okay, all right. So you can see I put arrows right here from the price to this side and then the quantity to this side. So again, traditionally when we look at graphs, you think of x-axes and y-axes. You can absolutely think of it that way, but you don't have to, okay? You really don't have to. It's not something that you have to immediately grasp onto, because when we talk about supply and demand, it doesn't have to have numbers. I know that sounds really weird, but we don't have to have numbers. However, for the sake of us learning, let's start with numbers, okay? So just as you would in any traditional graph, you put a 0 right there, okay? So we look at the price, and it looks like it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, okay? And then on the quantity, it looks like it starts at 0 is 0. And then we have 5, 10, 15, 20. Okay? All right. So now that we have that labeled, let's talk about what each point means. So again, at $1, this producer is willing to produce, meaning the quantity supplied, 5 of those items. Okay, that's what this point means right here. This point tells us that at $2, the producer is willing to produce 10. Okay, at $3, the producer is willing to produce 15. And then finally, if it's being sold for $4, they are willing to produce 20. Okay? That's what each one of these points mean. Again, we are talking about what is being produced, not what is being sold. Okay? So right now, I want you to take a minute, and I want you, not even a minute, take 30 seconds. I'll put my own timer on. And I want you in your own words to describe what we just talked about along this curve. I have my timer for 30 seconds. Go. Take about 10 more seconds.